Welcome to Sports Uncorked. Thank you so much for being here today and tuning in. We have an amazing episode on deck. I'm your host, Rachel McCarter, and the theme of today's episode is FAFO. Fuck around and find out, because it just seems like it's kind of been that type of week in the sports world. So more on that. I am so excited to bring a new winery to you today. It is a winery that I was actually introduced to at a industry event in which the CEO and I got to talking about our love of sports and wine. And it came up that he actually is part owner of a winery in Willamette Valley. And I was like, oh, please tell me more. And as we dug in, there were ties not only to a love of wine and a love of friends that become family, but also there was an underpinning of a sports background. So today's wine and the wines that I'm going to be introducing over the next couple of weeks is from a newer up and coming winery in Willamette Valley called Chosen Family. And Chosen Family was started in 2016 by Channing Frye, which is a name that maybe some of you know, some of you don't know, but Channing won an NBA championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016. And this huge win was followed shortly after by massive loss. Channing's parents, unfortunately, both passed away shortly after the championship, just a month apart. During this time, Channing, he relied on his team and his friends and family to help get him through that grief and to motivate him both on and off of the court. And after practice each day, maybe not each day, but he often found himself at the dinner table surrounded by his teammates and his closest friends. And they had this habit of bringing a bottle of wine in that they loved and sharing that and sharing the story around it and reminiscing about happier times. And at each dinner, they were talking about the different wines they loved, the different regions, the varietals. And Channing found himself being from Oregon. He had deep roots here, and he always found himself leaning towards, the love of Pinots, which, I'm like a huge fan and have been very vocal about being a huge fan of the Willamette Valley region. Well, he also was. So after retiring from the NBA in 2019, Channing decided to jump into a new business venture, which was in wine. As somebody who knew he loved wine, he enjoyed it on a regular basis, his curiosity was really piqued, and he decided Oregon was the place that he wanted to be. So he found that wine really did restore him in a sense of excitement and purpose for life that he had lost a little bit along the way with the loss of his parents. So with the help of many of his friends and some of his co-founders, one also being another NBA legend, Kevin Love, he was able to bring his first two varietals to life, a 2018 Pinot Noir and a 2018 Chardonnay, which, Chardonnays I've been also vocal about how I'm very picky. I don't like the Chardonnays to be very buttery. I like them to be a lot lighter. And Pinot does, or not Pinot. Pinot and Chardonnay are different, right? But Willamette Valley does have a different feel and taste with the white grapes and those Chardonnay grapes. So I'm really excited next week to try that Chardonnay, which I will bring to you and try that live on the air when we are doing our first live episode for the NBA draft. So be sure to tune in on YouTube to watch that live. So the winemaking did fill this void and this hole, and it really is a motivation for him the same way that basketball was for so many years. So Chosen they were so grateful to send over 5 different bottles, which I'll be tasting over the next couple of weeks. The first one that I'm tasting today, that is absolutely a delight because I had to dive in a little bit beforehand, just to kind of get my thoughts around what the tasting notes were going to be. But this is a 2022 Pinot Noir. I love on the label. I mean, this just speaks so much to me as a person, and I truly think that wine is a connector between people, and what they have on the back of their label, which I just think is so precious, is friendship is our foundation, passion is our purpose, and wine is our connector. Drink with your favorite people, pair with your favorite music, feel stories, and let the good life unfold. lovely. I mean, that is exactly what wine is to me. And I love everything that this brand stands for. So knowing that their wine is equally as delicious just kind of rounds out that package. And being from Willamette Valley, another arrow in my quiver. So with that, this is again the 2022 Pinot Noir, and it's so delightful, you guys. It doesn't have that heavy tannin taste on the back of your tongue like some Pinots do. This one has the right amount of tannins. It has enough that it could cut through, kind of a fattier type meal. It would pair so nice with cheese. I This is probably one of the best Pinots that I've ever had. And I'm a kind of a Pinot snob. This truly is one of the best Pinots that I've ever had. This has been breathing probably for about 20 or 30 minutes, which when I tried it initially, it was still delicious. But the more that this opens up and breathes, even better it gets. It has a scent. You can smell the berries. You can smell a little tobacco. It almost has a little bit of like a woodland smell to it too, but you can't taste like woods and oaks and cherry. I can't taste that. I can taste cherry. I could maybe taste a little bit of I don't know, like a little bit of an oaky. It's got that tobacco oaky smell, but it doesn't come through as a strong flavor. Yeah, definitely more of like a tobacco-y flavor on the back end. Gosh, this is so delicious, you guys. I'm going to have a hard time sharing this bottle with my friends this afternoon because I might feel like I need to have a second glass on the podcast today. Okay, so this is, again, delicious Pinot. I can't wait to continue to introduce the rest of the collection to you over the next couple of weeks. Cheers, and can't wait to start our episode. Let's bring Marissa in. Hey, Riss.
Hey, girl. Hey, what's going on?
Oh my gosh, what a week, right?
What a week, indeed. I don't know about you, but I am ready to talk about what is essentially the Real Housewives of football, whether you're in the NFL or the NCAA. 'Cause there's a lot of drama going around.
Oh my gosh, it has been like I've been glued. I've been glued to like the Sports Center little crawler at the bottom of the screen. This Nico drama has had me on the edge of my seat, like
Yeah.
laughing and kind of crying for him because he got clearly some really bad advice. So I feel like that's where we have to start.
Yes.
With
Absolutely.
Nico, I am Aliba. Iamaliana. But his name looks like I am a leaving.
I'm a Leva. Yeah, I think, which it sucks. I'm very, very torn about this whole Nico issue because, I feel like I've made my opinion very, very clear about how NIL has been affecting NCAA football from the beginning, and this is a perfect example of how it's ruining. It is absolutely ruining not only the sport, but it's ruining the sportsmanship of college football.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't even know where to start. We have to, I think first to even go into all of the Nico drama, we have to start with Dan the Snitch Lanning, who has just really, really played his part as the giant wooden spoon in the pot that is NCAA football. I mean, even just on the heels of the whole Lanning loophole that he did last year, Dan Lanning is stirring the freaking pot, and he has been called a snitch from coast to coast. And I think that that's a really good way to kick this off because he did start all of this. Now, we can't say that players like Nico have not been playing the field since all this NIL stuff has gone live, and it's just been absolutely insane. But I love how no one even knew this was happening until Dan made a call over to the University of Tennessee and was like, hey, in case you didn't know, Nico is talking to other schools. And it's been absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
The funniest part about that is Dan Lanning only gets his quarterbacks via transfer portal. So Do you think, Dan, that this is going to help you get future quarterbacks by tattletaling and telling people that you're talking to them? I don't know. I think that just hurts his reputation and brand, that any conversation that he could be having with someone, he could go public with it at any moment. And
I
that's
agree.
that's not necessarily like the reputation that you want to have, especially when you are constantly scooping quarterbacks out of the transfer portal.
No, I 100% agree. I think that this puts a huge target on Dan Lanning's back. And I don't know if he's in this mindset where it's like, listen, I'm the University of Oregon. Kids are either going to come here or they don't. And like, I'm not worried about it. But also, like, if you're a recruit and you have one conversation with the University of Oregon and you don't necessarily love the program, maybe it's too far from home, maybe it's just not the right fit, and you leave, are you not worried that Dale Lanning is already on the phone with some other coach, if not multiple coaches, trying to smear your reputation so that you don't go anywhere else? I mean,
Totally.
like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to want to go to Oregon.
this whole thing is a dumpster fire. I mean, but I'm so glad that Tennessee was, and I don't really like a lot about Tennessee, but I was so glad that they stood up and said, we're not putting up with this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fuck around and find out,
Yes,
Nico.
exactly.
I mean, that's essentially what happened. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now we're starting to see some of the backfire of NIL. Also, how dumb are you to try to transfer in the spring portal?
I know.
I didn't even know there was a spring portal, to
I
be
didn't
like
either.
100% honest. But why, as a quarterback, would you want to transfer in the spring where you have no spring practice, you have no time to learn the system, you have no
Mm-hmm.
time to build relationships with your receivers? Like, are you ever really going to truly see success?
Right.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. And I think, like, and it's crazy because I don't know the whole background, but it does sound like at the end of the day, Nico got some really, really bad advice, probably from his dad, probably from someone who is supposed to be his agent or his manager right now. But it doesn't look that great, especially in comparison with other freshman quarterbacks around the NCAA. Like, the way that he stacks up, is he better than some? Absolutely. Is he better? Does he have better stats than like Dylan Raiola? Absolutely. But does that make you so good that you're worthy of a ends up at the end of the day being a $10 million deal, which, I'm sorry, but a lot of NFL rookie contracts aren't that great. So, even in comparison to some of the better senior
Yeah.
quarterbacks, your Cam Wards, your Kyle McCords, like, where do you stack up? And do you feel that your record in your freshman year is so good that you have the ability to ask for that? I mean, Arch Manning didn't even play a whole season, and he did about 1,000 yards in throws. Like, I just don't understand the mindset where they think they can ask for more.
I think that Tennessee should have seen the writing on the wall that it was all going to be about money with Nico. He was recruited as a high school junior, and he signed with Tennessee for an $8 million NIL deal as a junior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They paid him $350,000 up front during his senior year to stay committed. And, then in his junior season, he's now going into his senior season saying, I see that my value is worth more than the $2.2 million that I'm supposed to be owed this season. I mean, to put that in perspective, to your point, Brock Purdy has made $2.8 million in total in his first 3 years in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He finished fourth in MVP voting this year. He took the team to a Super Bowl, and he won an NFC championship. Now, he has been underpaid. Let's just be honest, and he's getting his payday now. But
Mm-hmm.
why does Nico think that he deserves more money than an NFL rookie who has been extremely successful? It's his family in his ear. It's an agent in
Mm-hmm.
his ear. It's even his teammates, I've heard,
Oh,
that
yeah.
have said, Nico, you're worth more than this. You should go out and explore your options.
Yeah,
I
sure.
just, like, $2 million to play college football, pretty damn
But
good. And
it's really good. And
it's really
to be
good.
quite honest, it's on par. Like, I was just doing some some light research. But just if you're looking at the stats, so Nico threw about 26, just a little bit over 2,600 yards. He did 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, with about a 63% completion rate, which, for the record, is about the same as what Patty Mahomes did in his like rookie NFL breakout game against the Broncos back in 2017. So like, okay, that's great. But also, in comparison to other freshman quarterbacks, we've got Caden Sermonza out of Ball State, who did 2,900 pass yards. Sam Livett at Arizona State did 2,800. And then we got Dylan Raiola at Nebraska under our favorite, Dan Rule, who did a little over 2,800. So Dylan makes $2 million a year. Like, that's his NIL deal. So for you to pass under him and think that you deserve more. Now, granted, their records are not exactly neck and neck. Nico did do better with his season. I just don't understand like what it is that you did that makes you think that you're deserving of $4 million when even some of these rookie NFL players are not making $4 million. Like, if that's the case, go ahead and enter the draft now, sir. Which is now out the window because you showed your ass to everybody in college sports. So,
and I think we would call him like a mid-level SEC quarterback. He wasn't
for sure.
nominated for all these first-team SEC awards. I would call him like 6th to 7th to 8th best quarterback in the SEC. 11 of his 19 touchdowns last season came against lesser teams. He was bailed out by an amazing run game that Tennessee had. But I think at the beginning of the season, we thought he's a Heisman contending quarterback. He was going to lead this high-powered offense. And that kind of fizzled out as the season went on. Now, yes, Tennessee did make it to the playoffs, which they should have.
Right.
But I think they made it to the playoffs not just because of him, but almost a little bit in spite of him, as his accuracy was horrible. He overthrew his receivers all season.
Yep.
I just think now the narrative that his camp is trying to spin and was trying to spin with all of this bad press is that he wanted to go to a higher powered offense where he was going to have more success in getting to the NFL. And last time I checked, the offense at Tennessee that he was running got a couple of quarterbacks to the NFL.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton ran that offense successfully, and both are NFL quarterbacks that preceded him. So I just think the narrative that's being created around a more high-powered offense, I wouldn't say that UCLA is that.
Dude, talk about a downgrade. Like, when it comes to
less money.
Division, yeah, for less money. Which, you know what? Honestly, that serves him right. That serves you right for being greedy and thinking that you could ask for more. Because again, at the end of the day, you are a college football player. This is not the end of your life. It is very much the beginning. So I just don't understand like where some of these guys get off. And then also like how disrespectful is that to like an NFL rookie that's like, yes, I played really, really hard all through college and I got picked up by one of these, I don't know, wonderful, but one of these 32 pro teams. But like if I had just stayed an extra year and I don't know, redshirt, become a redshirt 17th year senior, I can make more money. It's just all getting so out of hand. And it's funny because like, you know, I just did not think that it was deserving, especially when you compare him against other players that are his same age at other schools that aren't necessarily in the SEC. And if I was going to spend $4 million on a quarterback, like, and I'm looking in the transfer portal, I mean, like, honestly, I'm probably looking at like a Haynes King. Like, I just don't.
Right? Yeah.
Just like, you know, I just don't understand. It's very, very confusing. And I think that there are a lot of factors that have gone into this, but none of the right ones at the end of the day. And unfortunately, this came around and bit him in the ass.
I think it's really short-sighted on his part, too. And the fact that he's going to a school and a conference that is not going to be on television as much. He's not going to get as much press and publicity because no one really cares about UCLA.
Right.
His head's probably big enough to think that now that he's part of the team, ticket sales are going to go up and interest in watching this program is going to go up. But if I'm in his shoes,
I'm just going to go someplace and it'll be amazing immediately.
Yeah. Like, I kind of feel like if I'm him, I'm weighing the money opportunity, but I'm also weighing what's going to get me publicity and press to get to that next level in the NFL. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a whole thing. Like you have to be talked about in order to get like a high draft pick to the next level. People have to watch you. It's not just about draft day and it's not about those workouts at the combine. It's about the awards that you earn, getting yourself seen, having your name thrown out there. Like all of those things are super important. And he's taken not only a step back monetarily, but he's taken a step back from a publicity standpoint too. He's getting
Yeah.
all of the bad press and he's going to get none of the good press.
Oh
I think
yeah.
he's doing it for Delta Sky Miles because UCLA, I believe last year Cal and UCLA were the teams that had to travel the most miles to their games, which I'm sure
True.
he's also not taking that into account either. The wear
No,
and tear
no,
that
because
will
at
take
this
on
point
him.
he's going where he's getting in where he can fit in at this point, and
Right.
unfortunately it's UCLA. So congratulations, sir! Like all of that hard work paid out in your benefit somehow. I mean, I just don't know. I just, for that amount of money, I feel like there are other players that are in the transfer portal or even that aren't in the transfer portal that could be stolen away from their team for the right. There are much better candidates. And unfortunately, he shot himself in the foot during all of this. And, you know, a lot of coaches have been coming out and kind of speaking about how, like, the effect of NIL is already ruining the 25-26 season. And
100%.
unfortunately, you know, Kirby Smart came out and he said, you know, are these kids going to win at the end of the day? Because now that these NIL caps are being raised or established at some places, are some other sports at some other big schools going to be affected by that? Like, are they going to have to cut programs or cut into programs to make up for some of these programs? It's just, I mean, for these NIL salary caps, which I can't even believe we're having to say salary caps in college, but that's what's
No,
happening.
I know. Well, I think it'll be really funny when he sees not only is he taking a lesser salary from UCLA from his deal, but he's going to get hit with income taxes because
Yeah.
California's and the cost of living in California is not
Yep.
Tennessee, where
Yep.
there's no income tax and low cost of living.
Oh,
So, I
yeah.
mean, that just diminishes your monetary value that much more.
Oh, yeah. What it
So
is,
I
his
hope he gets a
salary
good
went
degree
from
from the school.
Oh yeah, and he goes from what making $2 million a year, $2.2 million a year, to settling for almost what 1.9 or 1.3 or something like that. I think his now take home income is a little over $990,000. So
Yeah.
I feel like
Congratulations.
all of that,
You got the last laugh with the
yeah.
volunteers. I
Well,
love it.
Dan
I love
Lanning got the last laugh because his
it.
program wasn't affected at all. He just threw
Oh,
a grenade
man.
and ran.
Well,
Typical
that's what
Dan
he
Lanning.
likes to do. But I feel like that's what makes him like that gambler. I have this intrigue and love for Dan Lanning for all of
He's
these
a
reasons.
psycho.
He's a little like,
Psychopath.
I feel like Lane Kiffin's a little like this too.
No, they're the same. They literally are two sides of the same freaking coin. It's like if you put Lane Kiffin on the other side of the country, that's exactly who he is. And I'm not gonna lie, they kind of look the same too. They still have that same smug, I know something that you don't know kind of look on their face. They are the same, they are different sides of the same freaking coin. It's crazy. Which is funny because they both got NCAA rules named after them this year. So
Love it.
you got the Lanning loophole and the Lane Kiffin rule. So they're two peas in a freaking pod.
So, two peas in a pod, we can transition to talk about the two peas in a pod at Colorado
Oh my
and
god.
the dual jersey retirement, which has kind of blown the minds of many people across the country that not only Travis Hunter's jersey is being retired, which I feel
I,
that is
I don't
legitimate.
mind that.
It's too soon. I
Yeah,
think it's way too soon. Like a
agree.
semester after he graduates, we're gonna like retire his jersey.
Yeah.
Actually, he hasn't even graduated yet. We're gonna retire it before he graduates.
Mm-hmm.
And then because Shador is coach's son, we're going to
Yeah.
retire his jersey too. And
That's the
what he
most
went
blatant
13 and
example
12.
of nepotism I've ever seen in my entire life. I have never seen more blatant nepotism. And this is like coming on the heels of like Bill Belichick hiring his son to like I have never seen this before in my entire life. Like I had to do some looking up, Rach. I really did. Because Travis deserves to have his I agree. I do think it's too soon. Shador, I don't like I had to do like what is it that he did that made him such an accolade to the University of Colorado? I had to look it up. 13 and 12. 13 and 12 was his record at Colorado. And 8th in the Heisman race.
Yeah.
Rach?
I'm like, if his last name wasn't Sanders, this would not even be happening at all. I mean, and I think even like the AD has come out and said, and maybe I'm making this up, maybe the AD didn't come out and say this, but I think it's what everyone's thinking is, okay, so Dion signed an additional 5-year extension at Colorado. Probably part of that in keeping him happy was that they were going to agree to let him retire his son's jersey.
Yeah.
But you look at like Tim Tebow.
Thank you. That was
2 national championships, Heisman Trophy winner. His jersey's not retired at Florida.
5 NCAA records, 28 Florida records, 14 SEC records. Led the Gators to 2 titles, 9,285 passing yards, 88 touchdowns, 2,947 rushing yards, and 57 rushing touchdowns. Does not have his number retired.
And what, 10, 15 years later? That's the other thing. We're still talking about their stats.
I told you I had to look this up. Now listen to this. 39 wins, 6 losses as a starter at the University of Tennessee. 11,201 passing yards, the most in SEC history. 89 touchdown passes, the second most in SEC history, 4th time in the entire NCAA. 33 University of Tennessee record set, 7 SEC record sets, and 2 NCAA passing records. That's our favorite big forehead face, Peyton Manning, who actually did have his number retired. Nearly a decade after he left the University of Tennessee. Awarded. Allowed. I accept that.
Yeah.
Now, listen to this. 3,591 rushing yards, 5.5 yards per carry, 349 rushes, 39 rushing touchdowns, 211 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. Our favorite, Derrick Henry, who wore the number 2 and the number 27 at the University of Alabama, has not had his numbers retired. I just don't I'm going to go ahead and need to ask the NCAA, what exactly are the qualifications or the check boxes that need to be marked in order for someone to have their numbers retired? Because I am ready to go ahead and nominate several players in and outside of the SEC that need to have their numbers retired. I'm just saying.
It's the one thing the NCAA doesn't try to meddle in. I think it's up to the schools, but what a miss for these schools to not honor some of these players. I think that now there's going to be a lot more CU players that are going to be recognized with jersey retirements, Cordell Stewart being one of them, because there's now all this pressure and focus. Nobody from the 1990-91 national championship team, maybe one player has had their jersey retired.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get how Dion thought that this was going to be okay with people and that it wasn't going to cause some negative press, especially with
when has Dion ever done anything where he cares about what people when has he ever done anything where he's like, oh, I'm just doing this to make people happy?
Kardashian.
I'm just saying, this is absolutely insane. There are way too many players that are literally sitting behind the desk as an analyst right now who have not had their numbers retired, and that is in itself is disrespectful to a lot of players. And it's disrespectful to the whole pomp and circumstance and the honor of having your number retired when you haven't done anything.
I agree. I 100% agree. It is. I think it's embarrassing to the sport that this is even a topic of conversation.
I don't even like Tim Tebow, and I think his number should be retired.
I agree, and I don't like him either, and I agree. So on this topic of annoyances, people we don't like, there was a all-female space flight that went into space this week that I'm just waiting for all of those fillers to start dissolving. It was like a circus show. It was a mockery of how much money we have. It did not do they thought that this all-female flight, first all-female team in space, was gonna be this positive, like, female power press, which it was not. That totally backfired. You got to go because you have $11 million to spend on an $11 million flight. Great. Wonderful for you. But you and I started talking about, like, if we were going to put people on a spaceship and just send them to space and hope that maybe they don't come back, like they just stay in space and float around and maybe visit the space station like those astronauts that, were up there for 9 months or so.
And got stuck.
Like, who would we want to put on the spaceship that we'd be okay if they weren't on Earth for a little while?
Oh, I got one.
You got one?
I got one. Jordan Hudson. This is
Oh,
Bill
God.
Belichick's unchecked mole that's been hanging off of him for the last 2 years.
And has like a CEO job of Belichick Production Enterprises or something.
Like Belichick Social Media LLC and conglomerate. Like, put her on the next one.
The thing that got me about her, I wasn't annoyed by most anything until she posted that video of, like, Bill Belichick laying in the sand at the beach with his legs up, with her, like, mermaiding and doing Pilates, which she called Pilates. I'm like, this girl has got to go. You got Bill Belichick doing, like, leg lifts with you on him in the sand. This guy, does he have Parkinson's? Like, does that even seem like something he would do? Like, what's wrong with him? Bill
All I know is that I never see him smiling in any of the pictures with her, so I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I think I've got a lot of thoughts that probably aren't safe for podcasts, which is why they're still together, but we're not going to say that here nor any other time. But I think she's got to go. It just irks me because when I think of, like, the first ladies of college football, I mean, obviously we're thinking of Terry Saban, who is the queen, but, like, there are other college football wives where I know they are sitting at home or they're standing on the sidelines and they're just like,
she's not part of the club.
No, and she won't ever be. She won't ever be because she's only 24 years old and she doesn't know what it's like. I'm telling you right now, if their relationship makes it through this season, I will be so shocked. I'll be so shocked because there's no way. There is no way that she's going to be able to deal with him losing and or winning to the South Carolina State, I think, or yeah, South Carolina State, because that's like one of their big rivals. Like, there's no way she's going to be able to handle that. The minute that one day he has a bad day and takes it out on her, she is out of here.
She's going to have an affair with a player.
If she's not already.
Yeah, like, this is like a recruiting ship. Don't you feel like, hey, come play at North Carolina. Maybe you have a chance.
Yeah, I'm going to take you out because, Bill goes to bed early.
Right. I don't know. The whole thing is just odd, okay?
I don't like her. I don't like her. She's going to have to go to the Terry Saban School for Wives of college football coaches and get a lesson or two. I don't like her. She can go to space.
And cover yourself up a little more. So who I would put on the jet, I'm going to call it a jet, but the space pod, would be Stephen A. Smith, because he is completely taking over ESPN. I can't handle it anymore. Like, he's got to go. I need some difference of opinion. I need him just to close that ranting mouth. It's irking me and it's getting annoying.
We're definitely friends, because while you were saying, I was just thinking, like, Stephen A. Smith needs to have a seat, or like Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James, because this BS beef that they have going on between, which is ridiculous. It's like the battle of the receding hairlines rather. And it's just like, they are just yelling at each other. They've got this beef because Stephen A. Smith said that the only reason why your son is playing is because your dad, like, duh. And then, like, LeBron gets up.
We all think that.
Right. And then LeBron gets mad. He's like, no, my son's actually good. And we're like, is he? Like, it's so, like, they're beefing over the dumbest thing. Now, granted, you shouldn't talk about someone else's child. That is not nice. But when you become a professional athlete, that makes you fair game for all opinions. Just like you just do. Just like Stephen A. Smith is fair game for opinions and clapbacks and everything else. And if you can't take the heat, get off the court. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And I just like them in this fake beef that they have of going back and forth. Again, battle of the receding hairlines and who is going to stay the most relevant in the news. This take all of that up to space and leave it.
I agree. And then it would be interesting if he's off air and he's in space. Who would they bring in?
Oh my God, over like 12
they fired
hours.
Everybody that was good. So I don't know.
12 hours of Pat McAfee, and maybe they'll give Nick Saban a show.
Yeah.
They'll just extend.
Maybe they'll give us a show. I mean, we could do this for a couple hours a day.
Listen, you give us a whole staff and some production assistants to help us do all the research about all the stuff we're ranting about. Give us, absolutely, in a heartbeat, we'll do it. So 12 hours of Pat McAfee, and then we'll have like another 3 additional hours of Feinbaum, and then maybe we'll give Nick Saban an hour or 2.
I think we have to find somebody to cover all the other conferences. Because McAfee spends an hour of his show with Aaron Rodgers.
That's another one.
I was like, we could put him on the pod. That's too, right? Yeah.
I've never seen so much drama around the will he or won't he go to the Steelers. The will he or the won't. Like, at this point, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't. Like, at this point, put him on the Giants and then let him and Russ and Jameis just, like, duke it out over whatever high thoughts that they have for the day. And, like, let that be I don't care anymore. I really don't.
Aaron Rodgers is, like, making this whole big deal about how the Jets made him pay for a plane ticket to fly out to the meeting in which they told him they're not bringing him back.
Because he can't afford it?
Probably like, look how much money we paid you to do nothing. Like, you can get your own ticket.
Yeah, because you can't afford the ticket.
Continue to pay you for stuff that we've already paid you for that you haven't done. So you can pay for your flight to get fired.
I just can't.
I don't
think this spaceship is big enough for all the people we want to send.
So that's 3 seats. Do you have another one?
How many seats is on this thing?
So there were 6. I'd be okay if there were 7, and we just test to see if it works or not. Although these are bigger guys than the ladies, so let's take 6. So that's 3.
Okay. I think I'm gonna send. It's like not his fault, but Ed O'Bannon, who is this former UCLA player that even came up with all this NIL stuff. Like, this is his fault. All of this is his fault. It's all his fault. I think he should go. Like, it's not his fault. I don't think he expected it to be this out of control. But, like, some of it is his fault.
Right. We'll send him.
Yeah. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. Like, this is kind of your fault.
I would send Sergio Garcia.
Oh my God, what?
Oh my gosh. Did you see what he wore to the Masters? Like, he didn't make the cut.
Just like that.
Oh my gosh. He looked like fucking Lightning McQueen. I can't even believe that Augusta let him wear that, because you have to get like certain logos and everything approved. Yes, he is a loud dresser, but a bright red shirt with yellow, it looked like
he did look like
stripes.
But that's his shtick.
Bright yellow pants, like a McDonald's Happy Meal toy.
That's his shtick. He always dresses like that.
No, it is never like that. That was the most obnoxious outfit, especially to make a point and wear that at Augusta. I thought was just so tasteless. Send him to space. And he's rude, and he's a tool, so that just gives me more reason to put him on. And irrelevant, so yep, he takes my last seat.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you like him. I just thought it was so offensive.
For the Masters, yes, I think his outfit was very offensive. But like, I just feel like that's his thing.
Wear it to the U.S. Open.
I know.
That's a major league plan. Wear that shit on Live. Like, that's why you went to Live, so you could do all this obnoxious stuff. You don't dress like that at Augusta.
True. Very true. Very true. No, that's true. I agree. Have some respect for the arena.
You don't
That
need
is,
to be so loud and noisy.
yeah.
Lightning McQueen.
Okay, okay, I'll accept
For
it.
now on. For now on.
For now
That
on.
just irked me recently. I don't know that he doesn't bother me that much, but if he goes to space, I don't care.
Man, Augusta. The Masters was so awesome this year.
It was.
It was
I
so
cried.
awesome.
I cried. Did you cry?
I did. I was very happy for Rory. I feel like it was well deserved. I love that it was like the battle between the two Scots at the end of it all. I really thought it was going to be between Rory and Bryson at the end of the day, who I think it's hilarious that Bryson is now he has done to golf what we didn't know what was going to happen, but now all the ladies are like, I think I like golf now that we can see Bryson DeChambeau's arm. Okay, first of all, like Bryson DeChambeau only just got like that, and
Yeah.
So relax, ladies. But also, it's just this might have been like the best Masters I've ever watched. But it was really, really, really good. So I thought it was going to be between Rory and Bryson at the end of the day. I thought this was going to be like this epic, like TGL versus Live Golf. And then it was going to be the Battle Royale. And then the PGA would absolutely have to come to a decision after that. But it wasn't. It was the battle between two Scots. And I think that Rory deserved it in the end. I mean, he's had a really tough year. And if you want to talk about a comeback story, Rory wrote it. And that was a wonderful finish. Earned your Grand Slam. Good on you, bro. Well deserved.
Couldn't have done much more to almost let it slip through his fingers, though.
Oh, yeah. Choked.
He looked like he had it in the bag going into Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I'm going to watch it, but really, if I step away for a little bit, am I going to miss anything? Nope. He double bogeyed the first hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bryson started melting, and then Adam Scott was like 5 under. I mean, he's catapulting up. I didn't move from the couch. I thought I was going to be able to, just kind of watch it and then sit down and watch the last couple holes, watch it Rory put on the green jacket. But when he hit that ball in the water on 13, I was
weren't you like heart, like thought that was it?
He's going to lose it.
Knife in the heart.
No, I was like, I started getting like heart palpitations because I was so upset for him because Rory always plays like a mind game, right? And when you have 2 double bogeys, you have like this dream that you've been working towards for 13, 14 years, like slip out of your grasp right in front of you. The fact that he was able to find that momentum, his caddy was able to recenter him. I think it makes the story even greater.
I 100% agree.
It was great.
I 100%.
It's a good day.
It was good. Yeah, it was good stuff. I was like really happy to see how much there was like a lot of excitement around the Masters. Like I said, it was like really, really good. And even like after the fact, you'll love this. So I stumbled upon this. If pro golfers were college football programs. And so we have, if you can believe it, they said that Rory was the University of Texas. I don't know if that's telling for this next season or not. But
so what does that mean? That he was great and then fell on hard times and then he's back now? That's the way I interpret that, which
I think it's accurate. It was in his glory days and then he fell off a little bit and now he came back better than ever and now everyone loves him and they're gung.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's accurate.
Okay. They said that Tiger Woods was the University of Alabama.
Oh, so they're saying that we're kind of losing
on our way out.
We're injured.
Agreed.
We got a car. We got
a rebuilding year.
Yeah,
we're rebuilding.
Cool.
Okay. Bryson DeChambeau is the University of Oregon.
Okay, cool.
I think that's appropriate.
It's appropriate too. Yeah.
Okay. So the University of Georgia is our favorite hot boy summer, Scotty Scheffler.
What? Because of the arrest?
They both got records.
Because they got records, and Georgia, like Scotty, has been good for a couple of years, but we've seen a little slippage here as of recently.
Mm-hmm.
They've had the transfer of Carson Beck. He had the glass to the hand at Thanksgiving, so I mean, maybe that does play out.
Carson Beck. I think that's a conversation for another episode.
Good.
Yeah, so they both got records on both on and off the field. Justin Thomas, our boy Justin Thomas. They said he was
Oh, I love
FSU. Hearts go out to FSU.
Oh,
I know.
oh. But he's leading in the tournament that's being played this week, so hopefully
You're
he
doing
finds his
so
way
good. You're
back.
not
I
quite there
know.
yet,
Good
FSU.
job, JT.
Good job. All right. Jordan Spieth was Clemson.
Okay, that place, that seems about right.
All
Steady
right.
Eddie, kind of always in consideration, but just can't get there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we have the University of Oklahoma is our tried and true Phil Mickelson. Always playing, never stops playing.
Dude, this is spot on. You had your days of glory, but you're never going back.
Props to the Field Rush, our place for college football. Okay, and then last but not least, this was my very, very, very favorite. Arizona State University. John Daly. Mike Leach of Pro
Once
Golf.
a party, always a party. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I watched this hilarious video about John Daly and how he beat Tiger Woods hungover. He said that he had been drinking all night, overslept, had his caddy bring him a Crown and Coke, and met him on the first tee. And birdied the first hole, and he shot a 68 that day, and Tiger shot a 71. He said he was sitting on the driving range playing Stairway to Heaven, hungover from the night before.
And this is when Arizona State beats Alabama. Like, it happens, right? Jesus.
Party never stops. The party never stops.
He's like, I show up to the golf course, I smoke a pack of cigarettes, eat 3 Snickers bars, and drink 12 Diet Cokes. And that's like, how is this man still alive?
Honestly, 100%. And it's funny because if you compare, so Tiger Woods also did an interview pretty recently where he was talking about his regimen in preparing for golf tournaments and things like that. And he said, well, I get up in the morning, I run 4 miles, I go, I practice, I hit balls. I'll probably hit balls for 2 or 3 hours, work on my short game. I'll eat lunch, I'll work out, do my lifts, hit the gym, and then I go and I run another 4 miles. John Daly's like, well, I just smoked 2 or 3 packs of cigarettes. Case of beer.
I took a shower.
Go straight to the first hole. No driving range for me. I don't need to practice. Just rip it.
Go in raw. Yeah.
Oh my God.
If he dedicated himself, think about how much better he could have even been.
I mean, I don't know. I think I like Hooters. I like Hooters' version of John Daly. He said he makes almost $800,000 in just doing appearances at Hooters for the Masters. Like,
that's the NIL deal that we should be going after. That's all I'm saying. Like, he has, that's what NIL is intended to be.
Just
he has it nailed. That's amazing.
Hilarious. Absolutely
amazing.
Hilarious.
So I thought of one more person to put on this spaceship.
Okay.
And I think you'll agree with this.
Okay.
All of the cheer yell boys from Texas A&M.
Yes.
All of them. Like, we'll put them all on a separate spaceship.
That's what I'm saying. We need a bigger spaceship for all the people that we want to send. Because, like, when I started thinking about it, I was like, you know what? Manti Te'o needs to go. We haven't talked about him in a while, but, like, he absolutely needs to go. Ben Roethlisberger, he absolutely needs to. Like, there are, like, Tyreek Hill needs to go as a scare tactic.
Him and Jimmy Butler, can we put them on?
Yeah, they need to go as like part of scare tactic training or something like that. Like, we'll bring them back eventually, but we're going to send them up there and say something like, oh no, we lost communication. That way when they come back, they're a little bit more appreciative for what they have. Like, we need a bigger spaceship. There are a lot of people that need to go. A lot of people.
Oh my gosh, I'm crying.
I love episodes like this because it's like, you know what really grinds my gears? Everybody.
I mean, how can somebody do any of those chants? Like, I think Texas A&M's kind of like a cult.
Yeah.
And then you see this, I think I sent it to you. There's that saw it off cheer. And they, like, when Texas A&M hired their new, I think, basketball coach,
Mm-hmm.
they had him standing on stage and they're all like, swaying back and forth, and this Yale dude's doing this like saw it all. Like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my
it's
entire life.
cringy. It's
What
just
is
a
that?
little cringy. It's
And they all do it? Like, do all of the students do it? Is this that midnight yell thing? Like, it's cringe. It's cringe,
maybe,
and it is like, I can't say what I
like
really
I
think,
don't
but
just not one of those football traditions I can get around. Like I know that like down in Tuscaloosa we have our Dixieland Delight, but like I know Virginia Tech has their Enter Salmon. That thing is that's awesome. I could go without the midnight yell. I mean that's just not something. I mean I can even get on board with the tortilla toss. That seems really fun. Can't get on board with this midnight yell thing. It's just weird. It's
I
cringy.
like schools with female cheerleaders. I don't know. That
Yeah.
just seems like it is. Every time I see another video, and if you haven't seen it, just look up Texas A&M yell leaders dumb, and it'll bring
Yeah.
up like a whole slew of it.
Yeah. I mean like it's
It's
just it's a little
culty.
much. It's a little much.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I can't. Mm.
So we have the NFL draft coming up. I know that will be the topic of our next episode because we have plenty of thoughts and we've kept our audience long enough today. We do not have Altitude Lou today due to some scheduling conflicts on my part, but yeah, we had a long enough episode without him, didn't we?
Yeah.
we're gonna be about an hour.
We'll
All
get
right.
ready because we're going to add 2 more to it when we get to ESPN. So.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like we could do this show very easily for 3 hours.
Well, yeah, you just give us a bottle of wine and let us just gripe and vent about everything we hate about college and professional sports. Yeah, we could talk all day because there's a lot of things.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We will have a great episode for you next week with all of our thoughts around the NFL draft. And hope you all have a wonderful weekend or week whenever you're listening.
Bye,
Talk
everybody.
soon. Bye.